So, okay, it happened. The thing a lot of us saw coming but kinda hoped wouldn't actually land. Yeah, it landed. Anthropic just took the ban hammer to OpenClaw, and honestly, to every third-party tool that was using Claude subscription auth tokens. And if you're a solo dev who built your entire coding workflow around this stuff, yeah, we need to talk about it. Just real quick, I'm Daniel. I've been deep in the iOS trenches for over 8 years now. Started out doing freelance UI gigs, bouncing from client to client, shipping other people's ideas, and picking up hard lessons along the way. But after Dub 25, something just clicked and I went full solo. No safety net, no client work to fall back on. Since then, I've crafted over 15 of my own apps, all Swift UI, all built completely in public. And honestly, right now, every bit of energy I've got goes into making this solo studio into something real. Not another round of throwaway MVPs or AI generated slop, but apps that actually hold up and scale. And that's basically what Crafters Lab is. It's at crafterslab.dev, and it's not some tutorial factory or AI clone farm. It's literally my home base. I built it for solo devs who actually want to use AI the way it should be used, like a real teammate sitting next to you, not some vending machine you keep throwing coins into hoping something useful falls out. If you care about building with intention, shipping with care, and actually leveling up your craft, I don't know, I think you'd feel right at home. And yeah, if you're still hanging on with Patreon, huge thanks, for real. But heads up, everything's moved over to crafterslab.dev. That's where all the action is now, so come be part of the crew. Would genuinely love to have you building with us. Okay, so here's where this gets personal. If you're anything like me, solo, running Claude code every day, wiring up agent loops to handle the stuff you can't get to, then this news hits different. This isn't some abstract policy change. This is your workflow. So let me back up. A lot of us were running OpenClaw or one of the other open source agent harnesses, right? NanoClaw, PicoClaw, whatever. The way these worked is pretty straightforward. You've got the harness, which is kind of like the vehicle, and you slot in your favorite model as the pilot, Opus 4.5, 4.6, whatever. And the magic was that if you had a Claude Max subscription, $200 a month flat, you could use that same OAuth token that powers Claude code to run these agents. Unlimited, no per token billing, just go. But here's the thing. Anthropic started quietly tightening things back in January 9th. That was the first shot. They silently deployed a technical block on those tokens being used outside their own tools. No announcement, no heads up. People just woke up and their agent loops were dead. And then, February 17th, they made it official, published the docs, updated the terms. Those Claude Pro, Max, and free OAuth tokens, only for Anthropic's own tools now. Everything else is explicitly banned, and yeah, they're enforcing it. People are getting cut off. Workflows are collapsing. It's real. Not gonna lie, when I saw the reports rolling in, my stomach dropped a little. Because even if you weren't on OpenClaw, the principle here hits every solo dev who's built anything custom on top of Claude's infrastructure. Okay, so remember when I said this hits your wallet too? Yeah, well, let me walk you through the math because it's kind of wild. So here's the part that really stings. Up until this ban, if you were on Claude Max, $200 a month flat, you had unlimited access to frontier models through your agent of choice, Opus 4.5, 4.6, whatever, slotted into OpenClaw, set up a heartbeat loop overnight, run it 24/7, still just $200. Now strip away that OAuth token access and force everyone onto the API. The math changes completely. Opus API pricing is $15 per million input tokens, 75 per million output. And when you're running agentic loops, not quick questions, but sustained coding agents, reading your entire code base, reasoning, generating, iterating, you chew through tokens fast. I'm talking thousands a month, easy. And for a solo dev, come on, that's the difference between your project being viable or not. when you're one person paying for everything. Apple developer account, hosting, domain, design tools, and now potentially thousands in API costs, every dollar matters. Going from a flat 200 to a variable bill that's 5 times, 10 times, maybe 25 times more, that changes everything. I mean, I actually have all my project budgets tracked in Notion, and when I ran those numbers without the flat rate, yeah, not a fun spreadsheet. And here's what gets me. Anthropic knows this. They know these aren't corporate teams with R&D budgets. These are solo devs, indie hackers, people building on their own time, with their own money. The power users who fell in love with Claude. I get that Anthropic needed to stop the bleeding. Flat rate subs, funding, unlimited agentic compute, the economics don't work. I'm not dismissing that. But the lack of any transition period, any solo dev friendly pricing tier, it just feels like they forgot who their biggest champions actually were. All right, I want to shift gears for a sec because the question everyone's asking right now is, okay, so what do I actually do? So, yeah, this is where it goes from frustration to actual decision making. And honestly, it's not a bad thing, it's just a thing. And we got to deal with it. First off, pretty interesting timing. OpenAI basically sees the moment right as Anthropic locks everything down. OpenAI explicitly confirms their subscription tokens can be used for external API calls, third-party tools, custom agents, whatever. They're practically inviting the migration. And yeah, people are already swapping out Claude tokens for OpenAI credentials. And it works. The agents still run. The loops still loop. You just change the pilot. And that's the silver lining, right? These harnesses were designed to be model agnostic. The vehicle still drives. You just need a different engine. And this is where I want every solo dev to really pay attention. This should be a wake-up call about vendor lock-in. A lot of us got real comfortable building everything around one provider, one set of tokens, one ecosystem. And then one morning it all changes because a company updated their terms. So here's where I'd actually think about this. Don't just migrate from Anthropic to OpenAI and call it a day. What happens when OpenAI does the same thing in 6 months? Instead, build your workflow so the model layer is genuinely swappable. Test your pipelines with at least 2 providers. Keep an eye on open source models. Not fully there yet for every task, but for lighter agent work, the gap is closing fast. And look, Peter, the creator behind OpenClaw, literally put the Claude models on a pedestal, built a massive following around them. Those weren't pirates. Those were the biggest fans. And now, the mood is shifting fast. My takeaway is simple. Build your stack like the ground might shift, because it will. It already did. So, yeah, if you're still here, honestly, you're a legend. Because wading through vendor drama and token politics when you could be shipping code, that takes real commitment. And look, here's what it comes down to. This OpenClaw situation is messy, and yeah, a lot of us are reshuffling our whole setup right now. But the core thing that makes being a solo dev work, the ability to pick your tools, build your own systems, and ship on your own terms, that hasn't changed. The devs who built model agnostic stacks, they swapped a token and kept moving. The rest of us are learning that lesson now, and that's okay. And if you want to actually go deeper on this, the agent workflows, how to build a stack that doesn't break when one company changes their mind. Come check out crafterslab.dev. It's not some tutorial site or AI content factory. It's honestly just my home base, built for solo devs who treat AI like a real teammate and actually want to understand the tools, not just blindly depend on them. Inside, you get full walkthroughs, real short video tutorials, a ton of Claude code skills you can grab and drop straight in, and resources, actual downloadable zips you can pull into your project and start using right away. Members riff in the comments, ask follow-ups, go back and forth. But the real core is the Notion team spaces, my live playbook, the command center where I plan every app, write the .md files I actually use on real projects, build out prompt libraries, wire up automations, You get a front row seat to every messy draft, every system, every iteration I'm running day to day. There's SwiftBrain, a full curated Swift and Swift UI library, not auto-generated filler, real current stuff. Deep dive keynotes and private talks I've tracked down over the years, material that never made it into public training data. This is what I use to fine-tune models and build custom MCPs for Claude Code, for Cursor, all of it, and Ops Lab. That's where all the agent stuff lands first. AI agent instructions, templates, Claude code skills, workflows, automations, all wired up and ready to copy, tear apart, and make your own. The whole point is keeping your indie stack connected so you're never building in a silo. So yeah, if you want to get in before things pick up and prices start moving, now's a good time. The crew's still small, super hands-on, and it feels way more like a behind-the-scenes dev lounge than some massive faceless community. Would genuinely love to see you in there. And yeah, drop a comment. Were you affected? Are you migrating to OpenAI, going open source, sticking with Anthropic through the API? I'm genuinely curious where everybody's landing. Keep crafting, keep adapting, and don't let any single company own your workflow. Peace.